Which Side Podcast is a proud member of the Which Side Media Collective.
This episode is sponsored by
Brandon and Becky Mullins.
Yeah, they wanted to give a shout out to Matt Miner. He has a new comic that just came out, Toe Tag Ride, issue number 2, came out last week.
So go to your store and pick that up. Check it out. While you're there, also pick up the Liberator series. It's available by trade paperback now. And also the Critical Hit.
And the Earth Crisis.
Get the Earth Crisis as well.
God, Matt, he's done so much. I'm jealous of that guy. So, friend of the program. Check out his work. It's awesome.
And check out the episodes that he's done with us.
If you want to sponsor a show, it's super simple. Just head over to whichsidepodcast.com, donate at least $10. That's how much it costs to make one of these things, so that's all we charge.
So, whichsidepodcast.com, click on the donate tab.
This is episode 113.
We had Lagusta on from Lagusta's Luscious.
She's a chocolatier. We had an awesome conversation with her, so stick around and listen to that. What news and events do we have going on this week?
Well, it is Veganuary.
No, it's January. Starts with a J.
Veganuary. Which is a challenge to everyone to go the whole month of January as vegan. If you haven't done that yet, it's never too late to start. You just have to go over a couple days in February and then continue doing it for the rest of your life. Not a big deal.
I think I can do this one.
I think I can too.
Yeah. I've done this challenge like the last 20 years. So, I think I can do it one more year.
No big deal. No, but seriously, if you are thinking about going vegan, totally try it out for a month. And if you need any help, totally hit us up and we'll always help you out.
January 8th. 1811, New Orleans had a huge slave revolt. Always fun to read about.
You can pick up the new Slingshot at any local info shop.
That's where I pull these out of every week if you like them. It's a great little organizer to, organize.
If you don't have a local info shop, you can always start one, or you can go to other info shops like AK Press and pick one up.
They don't pay us. We just like them. I sincerely hope you enjoy this episode.
Which side are you on? Which side are you on? Which side are you on? Which side? Which side are you on? 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 Which side are you on?
Hello?
Hello.
Hi.
Hi, I'm Jordan.
Hi, I'm Lagusta.
Hey, Lagusta. I'm Jeremy. Hope you can tell us apart. Sorry, my voice is a little out there today. I feel a little under the weather, so I apologize for that.
Uh-oh. No worries.
So she should be able to tell us apart pretty easily then, because you kind of sound sick.
Yeah, but you kind of sound like shit all the time.
There you go. Well, I've actually never used Skype before, so this is very exciting. I don't know why I'm very behind the technological curve here.
Well, no worries at all.
I kind of like Skype because you can talk to people, without, what's it called? I'm not trying to do a Skype promo here, but international calls you can do for free if you're both on Wi-Fi and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's good. Yay for Skype.
Yay for VoIP. I don't know if yay for Skype.
Well, yeah, exactly. Yay for free.
Yeah, exactly. Whatever's free, I'm totally cool with.
So how's your day going so far?
Oh, well, let's see. It is okay. I have a weird thing happening, which is that I have time off from work, which is not usual for me. So, but I'm at work trying to do things not related to work. So I don't know. It's just, I'm trying to do too many things because I'm too excited to have time off. So it's like that kind of a day.
Okay, so you have
good.
time off, and you're at work.
Yeah,
doing work.
It's pretty ridiculous. Yeah, the thing is like I have this chocolate shop and it's really great, but it's gotten kind of bigger than I thought it would get, which is weird. So I'm really excited to have this time where no one is here but me. So I'm just so happy that I get to use like all the counters and all the space and no one, even though I love the people I work with, it's just nice to like spread out a little. So right now I'm spread out over the entire place and it's kind of insane.
Okay, so what are you using all these countertops for right now?
Well, I'm actually just making soup. It's ridiculous. But I'm supposed to be shipping out a couple orders and like doing like chocolate related stuff, but I'm not really doing that. I should get to it.
So I am a huge chocolate lover, and I looked into how you like manufacture chocolate and then temper it and everything, and I went, yeah, that's too fucking much for me.
Yeah, seriously.
So what made you take that jump? Like
well, let's see. So yeah, I used to do like a vegan meal delivery service, and I really loved it. It was great. And it was like where I went to the farmers markets in New York City, shopped for like local produce and everything, and cooked meals. And I had about between like 20 and 30 families that I cooked like meals for the week for. And that was good because I love to cook. But it got a little bit exhausting because cooking is very exhausting. And just like endless onion peeling and things like that. So I was kind of just a little bit worn down on it. And my partner and I started, I think in 2003, actually, we made truffles just for out of like a Martha Stewart living recipe that we veganized. We made like chocolate truffles for our family for the holidays and sent them off to a bunch of our friends, and people really liked them. And I really love like kind of weird small things that are very precise. And the cooking thing is just so like big and dirty, and there's pots everywhere, and chocolates are very like, they kind of take up a lot of space, but they're just more like tidy sort of and kind of little. So I don't know. I like that. So in time, I just started doing more and more chocolate things. And I also really loved like being vegan. I love the idea that I was making this really kind of like decadent product that I think a lot of people still associate veganism with kind of austerity and, depriving yourself of things. And chocolates are so like fatty and rich. And I really liked kind of being like, yeah, like, fuck you, eat these fatty things. So I don't know. Yeah, so it just kind of grew and grew. And then in 2010, I guess, I shut down the meal delivery service to kind of focus on chocolates full time. And it was really good, even though I miss it now. So I make kind of like a sliding scale, we call it socialist sliding scale soup special for the shops where people can pay whatever they want. And it's just like a pint of soup. So that's good. It kind of like still gives me the freedom to do savory cooking. So I guess you always miss whatever your job isn't,
That soup sounds fucking amazing. I was talking to my partner
really
the other
cool.
day about, I just want a place that's vegan soup and chili. Like, that's it.
Yeah, seriously, yeah. Yeah, I love making soup. It is the best. So, yeah. It's great.
But I'm blown away that you had up to 30 people a week you were making all their damn meals for.
Yeah, it was a lot. When I think about it now, like I'm making a soup today that I used to make for the meal delivery services, Lagusta soup, like Malaysian soup. And it's so much work just like hauling out like all these ingredients. And I don't know. The most I ever had was one person helping me at a time. So yeah, it was ridiculous. But it was good because I really like taught myself kind of how to cook doing it. Even though I went to culinary school, it was kind of like a shitty culinary school that it wasn't shitty. It was just like, you still need to learn a lot after you go to culinary school. So it was good for me at the time, but I think I couldn't do it now. I think I've gotten too lazy. So
I just want to get to the point that I can look at someone and say, make all my goddamn meals for me.
Yeah, seriously. Well, it was also this weird kind of very elitist job where it was just not rich people, but people who are like, some were rich, but so I don't know. It just felt kind of weird. Like, why am I doing this? I don't know. Even though I had good customers and everything, but now it's fun because it's like we sell things that are $2, even though I could still be accused of elitism, trust me. So, yeah, would not be wrong. But
so were you vegan in culinary school?
Yeah. I went to the school, the Natural Gourmet in New York City.
Okay.
And it's really weird. Like, when you apply there, they say... I don't know what's going on with them, but they used to be a lot more vegan friendly, and they used to be a lot more like... saying they were vegan friendly. Like when you apply, even now they'll say like, you can do the whole program vegan, but they're kind of weird about it. It's kind of annoying. I don't know. Even though I had a good experience there, I don't know. It was like, they had a couple meat classes, a couple dairy classes, and a couple egg things, and you could skip them, but it still counted as absences, which seemed very annoying. But there was a focus on like whole foods and things, and the school has been around since, I don't know, maybe the 80s or something. But a lot of the teachers kind of used to be vegan or vegetarian, and now they're those crazy like locavore people. Mm-hmm. So, or not locavore, but like happy meat kind of blah blah. So so they'd always be like, I used to make my own tofu, and now I don't know what. So there was kind of a weird vibe about veganism at the school. But that said, I hope they don't listen to this podcast. Whatever. I think they know how I feel. But that said, it was great. I mean, it was good for me at the time because I didn't have a lot of confidence about cooking, and I felt like it's kind of weird with school. Like, I don't think you have to go to. Well, I know you don't have to go to culinary school to be a good cook, obviously. But for me, it really helped kind of get me over this hurdle of like, the professional chef world has gotten so hierarchical and male and like violent and like crazy that it was kind of really good for me to be like, I can make my own little home in this world and, it'll be okay. And I needed that kind of base of like, yeah, I know what like the mother sauces are or whatever. I don't know.
So when did you go there? Because I looked into them in the late 90s, and at the time they were like, oh no, it's mostly vegan, but there are classes you have to take that aren't vegan. So I kind of at the time was like,
really?
yeah,
Interesting.
No.
Huh, that's funny. Yeah, well, I went there, I guess, in 2000. Okay. So, yeah, it was a while ago. But, it's kind of weird. Like, and after that, I worked there for a year or so as a steward, just kind of like getting things ready for classes and shopping and things like that. Which actually, that job, ironically, taught me pretty much as going to the school. So, because I had a boss who was super just old chef guy and like just taught me to be like so relentlessly organized, and I don't know, it was really great. But yeah, they kind of talk out of both sides of their mouth, I feel like, with veganism. So yeah, it's kind of funny there. But anyway,
I think I am like an anti-cookbook person, and I only have like 5 cookbooks. But I swear one of them is from an instructor there. And I can't remember his name, but the book is The Modern Vegetarian Kitchen.
Oh, yeah. I could say a lot about that guy. Peter Burley, I believe.
I don't know his name. The only thing I got out of the book was how to cook lentils a little better. But
oh, wow.
Other than that, it seemed kind of like just whatever.
Yeah. I mean, when I worked there, I did a lot of like he taught a lot of cooking classes and stuff. And yeah, he exists. There we go.
I take it you like him.
Jeez, man. Yeah, I don't know. I didn't really love his vibe, but whatever. You know what? Actually, that book has an amazing chapter on sourdough bread. If I'm remembering right, is the cover like him standing it's like at a table and he looks all like modern and
yeah. I don't know. Yeah. I kind of didn't like his whole bread chapter. I got like a whole nother cookbook called like The Secret of Bread Baking from my grandma, written in like the 40s, and it seems like way more in depth and talks about it in a totally different way.
Interesting.
And like, I read how he makes his sourdough starters. And he's like, and you got to start with grapes. And then I look at like, the cookbook from my grandma, and they're like, fuck that. Like, just throw your shit together. So I don't know.
It's so funny about bread because I feel like there's so many bread books that are like, you have to do it like this, blah, blah, blah. And they all contradict each other and they all work fine. It's just what works for you. Yeah. Bread is so individual and whatever. But yeah, I was really obsessed with this book, Breads from La Brea Bakery. Mm-hmm. And it's this woman who's like just insane about bread and everything is weights, and it's at a certain point I was so into it that I was making this like 3-day sourdough bread every 4 hours you had to do something with, and I was like waking up in the middle of the night to like weigh out the water I was feeding the sourdough, and I don't know, it was a really good bread, but it was it can take over your life.
Here, I just use Bisquick.
There you go. Whatever works.
I killed my starter like 6 months ago, and I've been too lazy to try to make a new one. Yeah.
I'm sure someone around has some they can just give you.
I know one lady, she has one that was passed down from her grandma, but she won't let anyone share off it.
What? That's so weird. What does she do when she has too much? I mean, she probably has thrown it out. That's crazy.
She probably is, yeah.
That is very anti-sourdough, if you ask me.
I'm like the huge idea that, you should pass it along with your bread if you're giving it out. Like, let people take the starter. Yeah.
We used to have a little sign at our shop that said, like, if you want any sourdough starter, let me know. But then it sounds really dumb, but it kind of just got, not many people asked for it. And then when they did, I had to, like, get out the sourdough starter and feed it and, like, find a container. It was like a whole deal. So I just took the sign away, but I still have it.
Well, I might come take you up on that non-sign offer.
Yeah, seriously. Well, go for it. Yeah, people still come in once in a while, and I'm like, how did you know about the sourdough? I don't know. Word spreads.
Now everyone will know.
Yeah, seriously. Uh-oh.
I don't know. Like, for me, bread baking is super intimidating. I mean, I still make it, not as nearly as much as I would like, but it's one of the few things that I find super, super intimidating. And a lot of people are just like, oh, it's just bread. And you're like, you don't really fucking understand, like, how difficult some bread is.
It's kind of that weird world where it's almost like that, like, Zen mind, beginner's mind. Like, the less you know about it, you make bread and you're so proud of it and you're so happy and it's so great. And then you know more about it and you're like, oh my God, that bread was horrible. Like, it's kind of just like make whatever and be happy. Like, now I feel like I make the, like, no knead bread, which I don't know if you guys know about. It's a great recipe. But, I don't know. It's almost no work. It takes like 18 hours and it makes a really nice loaf of bread. So I make that all the time because it's easy, but it really is not as good as like a true sourdough, but I'm kind of like, all right, it took 5 minutes, whatever.
Well, I'm kind of feeling like I started a new pizza dough recipe that I'm making, and it's 30 minutes from the time you start to you put it in the oven. It's not the most amazing thing in the world, but it gets it done. Yeah,
exactly. And still, homemade pizza dough, it's still great.
Yeah, exactly.
I think the only bread that I've really ever made was the Amish bread. Have you heard that? Like
the sweet, like the Amish sweet.
Yeah, it's like Amish sweet bread.
Oh,
okay. God, there's like 2 cups of sugar in it or something.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
So good.
But Amish food is insane.
Yeah. So good.
Yeah.
but it's weird because it's naturally vegan.
Yeah.
Wow, interesting.
And so you don't have to change anything in it.
That's cool.
It's amazingly sweet though. You have to watch out with the crust. There's so much sugar in it. The crust browns kind of.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Well, so go for it.
So what's your origin story? Like, what brought you to veganism?
Oh, okay, let's see. So, well, I was 12 years old, and you know what? Actually, for your podcast, I would be interested to know, I don't know if that's a question you ask everyone, but I feel like tons of women that I know, maybe tons of people, maybe guys too, I don't know, say that they became vegetarian when they were 12. I'm working on a theory that this is like a weird phenomenon. I don't really understand. But
I definitely did.
I was
11
vegetarian, 13 vegan, so
well, there you go.
I was vegan by 12, yeah.
Yeah, it's so odd. I mean, I don't know what it is. But anyway, so I was around 12 and maybe that's just when you start to realize like literally what meat is, although really it should be like 5 or something. But anyway, and just decided I didn't want to eat meat, and my mom was very friendly about it, and it was great. It was no problem. And then I just got more and more into like animal things because, when you're a kid and you have your little hobbies, and I feel really lucky that my hobby kind of turned into like hardcore animal rights activism instead of just like, I love dogs, like I'm going to get some dog stickers or whatever. But I don't know. So I think my mom took me to like just a vegetarian like group or something. And it kind of turned into both of us going to animal rights meetings. I grew up in Arizona, and it was a terrible place for animal rights in the 90s. But I think that made it almost really great because there were so few vegans and vegetarians that we really like banded together. Then we both started going to this CARE, Concerned Arizonans for Animal Rights and Education meetings, and everyone there was vegan, and I barely heard of veganism, and it seemed so hard. And I remember thinking that, like you couldn't eat bread, and there are all these things you couldn't eat, and I try to remember that a lot when people ask me like stupid questions about veganism, like we all had the stupid questions. And so I think just because I was around people that made it seem more normal, my mom and I both became vegan. And it was really great. And then I think by around when I was like 15 or so, is when I became vegan. So like 21 years ago, it's a long time ago. So it's been good. Haven't given up yet.
Was there like a catalyst for you when you were 12 to stop eating meat?
Let me think. I feel like it was just like, we'd have like cookouts in the backyard or something. And just one day just being like, what is this? Like, I'm not interested. And just not wanting, just kind of the awareness of what meat is and just, looking at my cats and just being like, no. And I feel really lucky that my family was just like, all right, that's cool. And my mom became vegetarian too before we both became vegan. And she's actually a much better vegan than I am now, where, it's pretty funny. Like, I was in a store recently and I was looking at this like used wool sweater and I was like, oh, this is cute. And she was like, it's wool. Like, she's really great. So, and she does a lot of like, volunteers for like animal, like shelters and things. And she's like the best activist I know. It's pretty awesome.
Man, I am so jealous of that story because about the same time as when I made the transition, but then my mom was totally not supportive.
Oh no.
And totally not cool. She's cool-ish now.
Yeah.
She's the only non-vegan I trust to tell me if something's vegan or not.
Wow.
But
moms.
I know. But I'm always super jealous of people that have that part of their story where they're like, yeah, and my family was super accepting and now we're all vegan and we jump around with bunnies and shit.
Yeah, it's so funny, like having this vegan shop, like people come in and we have this like funny vegan family that comes in. They all have like really strong like New Jersey accents and I can't really figure them out. And I don't know, they're just the most adorable, cute family. And one day I think my partner Jacob was like, they were talking about being vegan or something. There's like 2 little kids and I don't know. And he was like, are you guys all vegan? And the guy goes, yeah, we're all vegan. And he was like, oh, okay, that's cool. Like, what happened, like, to make your whole family vegan? And he starts telling this whole story about how he was like, well, my youngest son, he had the night terrors. And, like, goes on about how he had the night terrors. And then, like, being vegan somehow solved it. And then, like, his father had some health problem. And then, like, I don't know, it was just really cute. And so I feel like I'm introduced to all these people who are like, I'm not really in the vegan world anymore, except the world of the shop, which actually is a vegan world. But, I'm not in like the activist world so much. So it's really nice just to see all these people and be like, wow, there's a lot of vegans out there. Who knew? It's pretty great.
It reminds me of a story. We were at the all vegan market in Denver. What's the name of that market? Nooch. Thank you.
We sell our stuff there.
Yeah. So we were at Nooch a couple months ago and my daughter was talking to the owner and she's like, oh, well, how long have you been vegan? He's like, oh, about 5 years. She goes, I'm 8, so I got just like all snobby about it.
Oh my God, that's adorable. Yeah, that's great. Yeah, I have a friend who is raising 2 vegan kids in Portland, and yeah, they are ridiculous. They live in Portland, so when they came to visit me in upstate New York, we like went to some coffee shop to get bagels, and the little girl she was like, Mom, I don't know, they have non-vegan cream cheese in there. I don't know if I want to go in. I was like, oh, to live in Portland. Wow, okay.
Yeah,
wow.
My daughter is definitely turning into one of those.
Yeah, bring it on. It's pretty great.
I still find it hilarious when she'll question me and my wife about it. Like, we'll give her something. She's like, did you read it? We're like, well, of course we did. And then she'll reread it. And we're like,
oh my God. Yeah, that's what my friend's daughters do too. And she's like, yeah, my friend was saying like, she does this to me all the time. It's amazing. So yeah, great.
But, at least I know she does it to other people. She's doing it to us.
Exactly. Seriously.
So you say you're in the vegan world, but you kind of feel like out of it. And what I have kind of found is that people who make food or make anything like where that's vegan related like that, they almost become idyllic or almost like viewed in a higher light. Do you experience that at all?
Oh, what do you mean? Like people think I'm cool?
Yeah, like especially like new vegans will come in and be like,
wow.
Like, oh my God, you know, 20 years and you own a vegan shop. Like it's like something to achieve and strive for.
Yeah. It's weird. I wonder that. I was thinking about this the other day because I was wondering if the me, this is a thing I think about far too often, the me as a kid would think that the me of now is cool. And I was like, no, I don't think so at all. Because I think when I was a kid, I assumed that I would be like Gandhi or like I would be doing like real dramatic societal change. And instead I'm just like hanging out on my computer, like posting on Facebook that we have like caramels that are vegan. I don't know, like it just seems so like such a diminishment of what I thought I would accomplish. But at the same time, I think it's like, I'm really proud of what I've accomplished, and I think it's really doing a lot, and it's really great. But yeah, I always wonder that too. Like, I feel like with the like vegan activist people, like, do they think that? I mean, honestly, I think they're just happy to come in our shop and have vegan stuff. But I so look up to activists still, and my friends who work for like vegan groups. I'm just like, you're doing the real work, you know. And I feel like they're like, you're doing the life I want to live. And I don't know. So we have this weird thing of, you know, everyone wanting everyone else's jobs. But I don't know. I know that I'm not like, after doing like animal rights stuff for, you know, a while, I know that I don't have the heart for it. So I feel really comfortable with my place in the vegan movement, because I feel like it's the only place that I can be in while not being horribly depressed, sort of.
For sure.
And I really love my job, and it's really great, and, you know, whatever. But I think that this is kind of unrelated, but I feel like my heart kind of hurts for the vegan movement right now, because I feel like there's too many people doing like, I don't know, like I wouldn't argue that people, well, I don't want to say I wouldn't argue that people shouldn't go into like the vegan food world, because it definitely needs more, you know, niches need to be filled in that world. But a part of me is like, so many people I know want to make, you know, amazing vegan products. But then a part of me is like, where are the people actually working on, you know, passing bills and, you know, I know those people are there, but it just seems like my path is a lot easier path. And I know that. And I know that I'm doing it because I'm like basically a weaker person, and I'm kind of all right with that. But, you know, it just seems like veganism has become this kind of like lifestyle activism, which worries me, even though I epitomize it.
I think it's funny. Like, we've talked about this a little bit, and we brought this up with Bruce Frederick from Farm. Also, that in the 90s, the major animal rights organizations focused mainly on vivisection and anti-fur campaigns, and then going into the 2000s, all of the major ones made like a coordinated shift to focus on diet and farming. And so when you look at it now, the larger animal rights community, while those other campaigns still exist, of course there's anti-vivisection campaigns, they're focused on farming mainly and that lifestyle choice. And I wonder if that focus makes everyone else kind of just have that deeper niche focus into, you know, the individual lifestyle choices behind it that we didn't experience in the 90s.
Yeah, that's interesting. I mean, I think a lot about how, you know, we have a bunch of vegans who work at our shop, although it is not a requirement, which I feel like I need to say all the time. We don't ask in interviews if people are vegan. But I heard like a secondhand story of someone saying, oh yeah, I applied to work at that shop, but they didn't hire me because I'm not vegan, which we didn't hire the person because they seem crazy. But, you know, so anyway, but because, you know, vegan people apply to work at a vegan place. We have a lot of, you know, vegans who are in their 20s, and just the world that they live in is so, you know, not to be like in my day, but I feel like I was mail ordering lip gloss, you know, like through a catalog in the mail in the 90s. And now it's just like this amazing vegan world of so many products, and it's great, you know, and I mean, I buy my shoes at Moo Shoes and, you know, everything else too. And I love it, but it just seems so consumerist that it's pretty amazing. I'm not even making a judgment call on that. I'm just stating it, I guess.
You know, sometimes I almost want my daughter to step back and realize how we used to have it. Like, she goes into any grocery store here, doesn't matter, like a specialty store or not, just a local grocery store. They have soy milk, they have your vegan meats, they have your vegan cheeses, they have all these things that I would die for. I mean, vegan cookies off the shelf, vegan bread even, you know.
I know. It's amazing.
She doesn't know a world where it's not, you know, super easy. She doesn't know the world where I'd have to drive for a half hour just to find a store that had soy milk.
Yeah. It's funny. A customer sent us this, our best customer ever, let me tell you, sent us this huge care package of all of like Miyoko's cheeses, because we work really hard in December, and she was just like, this is just to help you get through the holiday season. And it was so nice. So we had this big tasting of all of her cheeses, and we carry the tree line cheese at the shop because they make it up the road from us, and they're like pals of ours. And we're always trying to try, you know, just like to be up on all the vegan things, like all the different vegan cheeses. So we had this like humongous cheese tasting at the shop, and my mom was there, and she was tasting everything, and, you know, everyone was just like, oh, I like this, but I don't like it as much as that, and that I don't like this brand, and blah blah. My mom was just like, this, can you even imagine this of like 20 years ago? Like this, the amazing variety of vegan cheese, it just blows my mind. It's great.
I remember ordering the Rhodes End macaroni and trees.
Oh, yeah, trees. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. You know what's funny is that my mom says that she misses that. She was like, I love trees.
Yeah.
So like the package was just like a Kraft, well, not Kraft like the brand, but just like Kraft cardboard box.
Yeah,
exactly.
I remember that.
Yeah. The thing that I miss, although they have
good.
it at my health food store, but I refuse to buy it, is that weird little baggie of like jerky that's orange. So it's called like
Stonewall?
jerkweed. Yeah,
Stonewall?
exactly.
The
Yeah.
dog food?
Yeah.
Oh man, I don't know. I don't eat any fake meats. I never have. I'm always grossed out by them. But for some reason, I love that jerky.
I have like a secret love obsession with that jerky.
It's so
It's
gross,
so
but
weird.
good.
Yeah.
It's so disgusting, but I
don't
always
know.
want it in my body.
Is that just-
Like if
Yeah.
I know exactly what you mean with it.
I don't know. Primal strips are way better. Let's be
Yeah,
honest.
I've never
but-
even tried those. Someone was saying that to me the other day, and I was like, no, you don't understand. I don't want to eat jerky. I'm not interested. I want to eat that weird bag of stuff.
It's like this
That's fair
weird,
enough.
like it's too chewy sometimes. And
Yeah.
it's
Very
too-
dry and
Very
very-
dry. Oh,
Mhm.
yeah.
a
Stonewall.
little. It's a little bit like bubble gum in a way I can't explain. I don't know. Yeah.
But when you
on
say
it.
that, I know exactly what you mean, and that's what's horrible about this stuff.
God. Yep. Huh.
But
Yeah.
I always feel bad when we talk about food like this because we have a lot of international listeners that will always be like, "You guys don't
Oh,
understand.
no.
It's still that way for
Yeah.
me." Like,
It's true. It's true. Yeah.
Try
My
getting
partner
soy milk in
travels.
my neighborhood.
Oh God. Yeah, my partner travels basically for a living and he, has been everywhere in the world being vegan, and I don't know, some places are easier than others, but yeah, there's still, I still think the American South is the worst of any place around the entire world.
Yeah,
Like,
it's
I don't know.
the American South is one of the few places I've actually refused to travel to.
Yeah.
I've always kind of just said no, and I've never been. Yeah.
It's pretty rough. Well, he traveled with a band who loved going to Cracker Barrel, and that was their thing. And it was just like, he would just be like, please, please not Cracker Barrel. So he knows like there's like one vegan thing at Cracker Barrel, but it's literally like, it's literally like rice or something. Like you can't even have a salad. It's amazing.
I was thinking of their candy stop at the front. I'm like, I think they have suckers in the candy shop.
But yeah. I
think that's
don't-
about it.
God. Anyway. Yep.
So you don't eat any fake meat at all. Have you ever? Is it just like a purposeful?
No. Yeah, I don't know. Like, let me think. I am a weird vegan where I shouldn't even say this, but I don't eat a lot of protein. And I don't think you need to eat a lot of protein, Like
When you
I
say
eat-
protein, you mean like that purposeful, like I'm replacing protein?
Well, or like tempeh, tofu, meat,
Okay.
like fake
Okay.
meat stuff. I eat beans. I love beans.
That's
and
a lot
I
of
do
protein.
Yeah, I mean, I used to make tempeh, so I ate a lot of tempeh then, but then I got really lazy, so now I miss that. And once you've made tempeh, like, not to be a snob, but you can't really buy it ever again.
That's how I feel about
So-
tofu, though, too. Like once you make it, you
Yeah.
don't want to go back.
Well, I
don't
never
know.
liked tempeh. I only liked the homemade stuff that I
Yeah.
tried. That's the
Yeah, that
thing.
was me too. Like, it's so weird and bitter, and I don't know. But I eat like really a very like kind of high fat, high green. I eat a lot of like fat, a lot of greens, and a lot of like noodles. I eat a weird diet, but I really think it works for me.
I'm
I like
fine
a
with
lot.
pasta
Not,
diets.
yeah, I mean, it's not like pasta, but I eat a lot of like rice noodles. I don't know what it is, but
udon's the best.
yeah, and like veggies, like green vegetables, and yeah, I'm like a true vegan. Like I just want to eat vegetables. It's so dumb, but I'm not saying that in like it's not like an ethical stance or anything. But
You're better than
yeah,
us.
I will say that fake meat, like truly, I think is awful. Everyone seems to love this. What are those little like nuggets people are all eating these days?
Like the
oh my God.
the
There's a
Boca
couple.
chicken
There's a
nuggets?
couple ones. Like
Not the chicken ones. Like, I don't know. I see like friends of mine on Instagram who are like awesome vegan cooks, but they're always making these like one little things that everyone seems to love. I don't think they're like TVP. I think they're better than that, but
There's
I don't
like
know.
the Gardein nuggets that have
Yeah,
like
maybe it's-
quinoa crust or something.
Yeah, no, I don't think it's those. Wait. Oh no, soy curls. That's what
Oh,
it is.
soy curls. Yeah,
What is
Yeah.
up with soy curls?
it's basically
I don't-
just like TVP.
It's just
Okay.
big, it's like big pieces
I
of
don't
TVP.
get it.
I
I don't know. It seems weird, but I
I like
tried one
it.
time and I was like, no, I'm all right. I don't know. I sound like a big snob, but
The best vegan jerky I ever had was made with soy curls. It was amazing. Like honestly amazing.
wow. Well, maybe I should give it a try.
I don't know. I made like a barbecued marinated chicken out of them, and it was pretty delicious. I don't know.
Cool. Yeah, I don't know. I guess I feel like I never crave like a meaty type thing. But, I mean, my partner does, but he eats like a seitan sandwich or something if we go out or whatever. I used to make seitan too, but I don't know. I'm over it. It's kind of, yeah.
I never really liked making the seitan.
It's the worst, right?
The process was never fun for me.
Yeah, it's never fun because, my hands get cold really easily. And, when you're like squeezing it and you have to run it under cold water for so long.
And then do the hot water and then go the whole cold
water. Yeah. I did a calculation once when I had the meals delivery. Then I ate a lot more protein because I made like balanced meals. But, I think now I'm still kind of rebelling. Like, I don't have to eat balanced meals anymore. Hooray. But yeah, I did a calculation that making seitan was literally like 15 times cheaper than buying it or something. So I just decided like I had to always make it. And it was, I'm worn out on that. And I'd always have the like wheat paste type stuff that's left over and try to convince my friends to like paste up posters around town with it or something. I don't know.
I ruined a couple pots making wheat paste.
I'm just so glad that Vital Wheat Gluten makes it so much easier.
Yeah, I know. But then I feel mean, but sometimes people will be like, "Oh, I made seitan," and I want to be like, "Did you just mix water into wheat gluten flour?"
That's what Jordan does.
Yes,
I mean, the truth is, like, easy. It tastes the same. I think it probably tastes better. It's 1,000 times easier. Whatever, Yeah.
I still feel bad every time I buy tofu. I remember, like, I buy cheap tofu because there's a little Asian market. You get it. It's $1.19 a pound
or something.
Yeah, $1.19 a pound. But I know I can make it for about 10 cents a pound. Every time I buy it, I'm like, oh, God, what am I doing?
But I feel like making tofu is really annoying, too.
I thoroughly enjoy it. It's just that, it takes about 2 to 3 hours. And that's 2 or 3 hours I just don't have.
Well, not including the soaking the previous day.
Yeah. Well, we use yuba in one of our bars. We make kind of like a bacon bar called Pig Out Bar, which I really love. It's like smoked yuba, smoked shiitakes, something else I should know. Anyway, a bunch of smoked stuff, and then kind of like a ganache. So it's kind of like a bacon Tootsie Roll, but vegan. I don't know. It's really hard to explain. But so because of that, we use a bunch of yuba, and I kind of want to make tofu so I can I guess you don't need to make tofu. I guess you need to make soy milk.
Yeah.
And then great, I don't know, but I want to make my own. But yeah, so I started looking into it because we don't, we try not to use any like GMOs and everything. And I always just bought yuba in Chinatown, and I'm pretty sure it was like GMO because it doesn't say organic, and and for myself, I feel like I would just kind of be like, well, what can you do? Although, I try not to eat GMOs, but for the business, I'm like much more strict about it. So then I had to do all this research, and I found this company in San Francisco that makes organic yuba, Hodo soy, and they're really awesome. So we get it from them, and actually just did like a tour of their factory in, I guess, October. I went out there and visited them, and it's super awesome. They have like a whole room where they make yuba, and it's just like all these little steam tables and just like with racks over them, and they just like lift out the little soy milk skin and put it on the racks, and
I know
pretty rad.
A lot of people probably have no idea what you're talking about because I've never seen it for sale.
I was just thinking that. Yeah, I was just thinking that when I said that.
Myself, and it is the best, especially you get when like the bottom layers when it's like super sweet.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a cool thing. I mean, a part of me is like, can you just... I've made it from soybeans, but I wonder, can you just boil soy milk and then like lift it off? Like just bought soy milk?
I think if you buy like the supernatural soy milk from a market that there's nothing added to it, so it's just the straight soy milk. I think the commercialized stuff that we get, like all the silk and whatever not, there's all that, carrageenan and salt and
I think that like prevents it.
I think it prevents it from happening.
But that being said, it's tastes better than homemade, in my opinion.
I do not like homemade.
I like homemade tofu, but
I don't either.
No. Oh God, it's so good.
I don't think there's anyone in the world who's like, oh, I just love my homemade soy milk for cereal. Like,
I had one person.
I had people that would ask when I would make it. They would ask for the whey so they could drink it. I'm like, are you guys like insane?
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny at the shop, like explaining to people because we have a ton of non-vegan customers, even vegans, I don't think really know about yuba, which is soy milk skin. So, we're always trying to explain it. And I always called it like, just jokingly in my head, like soy milk scum. So it's really hard to like not, because then once you like get an idea in your head, like you just want to say that. So then to customers, I'm always like, oh, it's the skin that rises on the top of soy milk. And I feel like that still sounds kind of gross.
After letting it sit out for a little bit.
I've never found a good way of describing it to people.
Yeah,
but
it's funny. Like so much, like people will be like, oh, okay. And then they just put the bar down. And I was like, lucky I didn't say soy milk scum. I don't know.
Oh man, but deep fried yuba is amazing.
Yeah, yuba I feel like is a really underutilized vegan product. I don't know. I made some matzo ball soup last spring, and I don't know if matzo ball soup ever has, I feel like it has like chicken skin in it or some weird thing like that, but I put yuba in, and I really feel like it was like much more like Jewish. It had like a chickeniness to it. I was really proud of that.
We have a place that has like a Mongolian grill place, but they have yuba that you can put in there. Mm-hmm. And I swear, whenever we go, we're the only ones that use it because they always give us a glare. And that's the only thing I put in because it's good. It's
nice.
So amazing.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't you?
Yeah. Mm.
One year I went with my partner Jacob to Japan, and we went to this crazy like Zen Shojin Ryori like Zen Buddhist restaurant that was at like a Zen monastery, and it was insane. It was in Kyoto, and I want to go back there to just like do a tour of all these like naturally, vegan restaurants that have been making vegan food for like literally 1,000 years. It was insane. And I think it was the first course. It was the kind of thing where like we were in a room by ourselves and, sitting cross-legged and everything. And, was like, they brought in these bamboo, like little square steamers and then poured hot soy milk. And then while you were like, the whole meal, the soy milk was like bubbling, and then you would just lift out with chopsticks the yuba, and then they had all these little sauces they brought that you would dip it into. It was insane.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I'm
awesome.
completely speechless. Like, holy crap.
Yeah, I was like crying. I was just like, this is the best thing of my life. Yeah, it was insane. Yeah, the whole meal was crazy. And friends of ours took us, and like, I don't know if it was super expensive or no one spoke English, and the whole time I was just like, vegan? And they were like, and finally like our friend was like, okay, they haven't like literally eaten animal products here for, like literally 1,000 years. I was like, okay, all right, I'm fine. Oh no. Yeah, it was pretty wild.
That sounds like, how did you even find out? Like, I wouldn't even know how to find a place like that.
Yeah, I know. Well, it was a friend of mine. It was actually, she put us in touch with her parents who lived there and just took us around, and they didn't really speak English, but they had this like electronic translator thing. The whole day was really hilarious. But yeah, it really got me into this like Shojin Ryori, like Zen Buddhist kind of temple cuisine, which is so beautiful. And, I feel like people think of veganism as this new thing, but in Buddhism, it's been around, forever. And like, fake meat too. It's, fake meats were invented in, China and Japan way before, 1975 or whatever.
Yeah.
I do have to say though, I do love fake shrimp.
Oh, when it's all red. Oh God.
I like the fake crab tubes.
Where it's made with like yam
Yeah.
flour and gets that like really chewy, rubbery flavor. Like,
Oh, it freaks me out so much.
I love it.
It's so good. Yeah, we get those fake crab tubes. It's with the yam flour as well, and then just Spanish rice, and it's just awesome.
Yeah, I have I'm pretty weirded out about stuff like that. But I went to when I was in high school, there were literally no vegan restaurants. I don't think there are any in Arizona, period. I don't know if there were. I never heard of them.
We found one in Flagstaff.
Well, now I feel like there's a bunch. Yeah, I don't think I've ever been to Flagstaff, but yeah, it sounds like a vegan paradise. But one opened up literally across the street from my house when I was in high school. It was the weirdest thing ever, and it was a Supreme Master Qinghai restaurant. And so I went there like every day after school. I worked at a vet, and I used all my money like there eating dinner. And then I was in like all the animal rights groups that I was in like met there because it was the only place. And so because of that, I have like very nostalgic feelings towards a bunch of the like Asian fake meat, like weird cultish restaurants. So they're great.
They're definitely a callback to the 90s for me. Like, every when I go to a place, I'm always like, oh, yes, this is what it was like when I was in high school. Yeah,
exactly. I was totally in that cult for a while. Like, I would just go there and go to the, like, meditation classes. And, they would just be like, Supreme Master Ching Hai is looking into your soul. And, you know, I don't know. I loved it. And I was like, okay, can I get my eggplant dish now? Like,
Yeah, we had one of those places, but it was owned by a Taoist lady, and she was always, you know, like, do you know the Tao? You know, is the Tao in your spirit?
yeah.
Yeah.
I kind of thought that the whole like Supreme Master Ching Hai thing like faded out, but then a friend of mine sent me a website recently, and it is going strong. It's everywhere.
Oh,
it's amazing.
huge.
That's the Loving Hut, right?
Yeah, Loving
Yeah,
Hut.
it is Loving Hut. Yeah. I think the restaurant that I used to go to now like is a Loving Hut or something. But yeah, it's pretty, has some longevity.
Yeah, I get in trouble if I call it a cult.
Oh, is that bad to say?
I don't know. I get in trouble when I say it, but
with your listeners?
Yeah, I do say it though.
Religion, I mean, it's a religion, and religion is a cult, so
Yeah,
I agree.
I totally agree.
there it is. Oy. Uh-oh. I mean, I think it's great what it's done for veganism. So, yay!
It's vegan food. That's all.
Oh, no.
Sometimes it's like the only place that you can go in an area that has vegan food.
Yeah, absolutely.
I've never been to one ever.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Well, you got to go.
I kind of don't want to.
Yeah.
I almost feel like it's the same as like when I used to go to the Hare Krishna temples for free food. I won't do that now anymore.
Yeah.
either.
Yeah, some things you just kind of move past, but yeah.
Been
That would be really funny if there's like a huge boycott now of Lagusta's Luscious by like Supreme Master Ching Hai. I'd die.
I would wear that as a badge if you ever got
Yeah,
that.
right? Oh, man.
So were you raised religiously at all, or your family religious at all?
No, it's really funny. Like, well, my dad is kind of nothing, I guess, Christian, and my mom was very liberal, secular Jew. So we were kind of raised with like Christmas and Hanukkah. It was kind of like both and neither kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
So it was good. You know, it was like I think my parents would definitely both say that they're atheists, and there was never any kind of thing of like God is a thing. I don't know. Although my grandmother was like an insane Catholic that she converted to and just became really religious about it, and, you know, would like say we're going to hell and stuff. But it was kind of just like, we'd kind of just laugh about that, like my mother and my dad and everything. So I don't know. So I feel very, very lucky because of that. And my mom's side of the family was very much in like, I feel like there used to be a really strong tradition of atheist liberal Jews that I think has now been kind of taken over by kind of far right Judaism, which is really sad, has kind of eclipsed that whole wing of Judaism. But yeah, it was, you know, so I feel like her like she came out of that world of kind of like Noam Chomsky, kind of Einstein, I don't know, kind of, yeah, atheist Jews. So, yeah.
How was that received in Arizona? Because isn't Arizona pretty conservative?
Yeah. Well, it was funny. She worked on a Jewish newspaper, so, and she still does, actually. So she was kind of in, like, the tiny little Jewish community. But I'm trying to think, like, yeah, Arizona is the worst. Yeah, it was kind of funny in school. Like, I would have to, you know, even though we weren't religious, we would take off for like the high holidays because we'd go to temple just as more of like a cultural thing, sort of, and as like, yay for days off, kind of. But I remember like I would have to tell my teachers, like, and it was always right when school started because it's in like September or something, like, oh, I have to take off a couple days for Yom Kippur and Rosh Hashanah, whatever. And a lot of times my teachers would just be like, what? Like they'd never heard of it, kind of. But now being in upstate New York is just like I know so many Jewish people, and like apparently the schools here are closed for the high holidays, which blows my mind. And it's, you know, I feel like kind of a natural New Yorker where it like fits me really well. And it just kind of blows my mind how many Jews are around and how it's kind of a normal thing. Because, yeah, growing up, it was like, there was like one Jewish person in my high school in addition to me. I don't know. It was just weird. But yeah, I didn't feel like persecuted. I also never really talked about it because I didn't feel very Jewish, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
It's like that Woody Allen joke. I'm Jewish.
I always feel really weird. So like the first day of Hanukkah this year, I get home and my wife's like, I can't find our menorah. You need to make us one. I'm like, we're fucking atheists. Like,
yeah.
I swear we're the only atheist family that has a menorah and a goddamn Christmas tree.
Yeah, but you know what I think about it is like those things are fun. I don't know. I think especially if you have kids, like it's nice just to have like a tree in your house, or like, well, I mean, that's kind of weird when you think about it, but yeah, I don't know. Like I never had a menorah, as an adult, but then like the past couple of years, I just felt like, you know what? I like having candles around, whatever. But it's funny, it turned into this thing at the shop because I'm always here when the sun sets, because it sets, like 4 or something. And it turned into this thing of like, we all like gather around and light candles. And I guess there's 3 kind of Jewish people working at the shop, but none of us remember like the little prayer to say. So we're all just kind of like, blah, 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 whatever, and kind of like do a bad job of it. And I don't know, it's just kind of become this fun like shop thing that's not tied to religion in any way.
Yeah.
So I like that. I don't know. I like having your little things, but that they mean a different thing to you maybe than, other people. But yeah, it was funny this year because we make dreidels out of chocolate. And we were like, someone was like, how do you play dreidel? And everyone was like the 3 little Jews were like, I have no idea. But then we like looked it up online and played it for fun. And yeah, it's nice.
I kind of hope I'm doing it right with my daughter. This year on Christmas Eve, we were at a family get-together, and like one of the great-grandparents was like, and everyone needs to remember the true meaning of Christmas. My daughter taps me on the shoulder, whispers in my ear, yeah, Saturn. So,
oh, that's so cute.
So I think I'm hoping I'm doing it right with her.
Yeah, that's nice. I mean, I think the thing with kids is like just giving them space to figure shit out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. Well, is your daughter? She sounds super awesome.
I like her.
That's cool. That's good.
She's pretty cool.
Nice. That sounds great. That's, it's a good attitude.
I don't. Yeah.
So back to chocolate.
Yeah.
Real quick. How do you go about like sourcing it ethically and all that fun stuff?
Yeah. Okay. So it's hard. Yeah, it's really funny. Like a little part of me sometimes is like, I don't know if I'm doing a good job, but I think that I'm doing the best job I can be doing, sort of. It's kind of like I don't believe sugar is healthy, but I think that people are going to eat sugar. So at least we're providing things that are better for them, maybe, or maybe more like decadent. So we'll eat less of them, or I don't know. It's kind of like that. Like, I don't really believe that there is a perfect ethical way to consume chocolate, but I kind of don't believe there's a perfect ethical way to consume anything, so I'm kind of happy that we're there trying to make it as ethical as possible. But yeah, so the chocolate that we use it's manufactured in San Francisco. Actually, I think they just moved to Berkeley because we don't make the chocolate from the beans because it's like ridiculous. So there's like 2 schools of chocolate. There's like chocolate makers and chocolatiers. And I think now they're like getting confused because the chocolate world is bigger and I don't know, but I'm really happy being like a chocolatier, which is like more like a pastry chef of like you take chocolate and you make things from it, where chocolate makers take beans and make chocolate bars. And I find that really boring and like good for them. But I'm not interested in like just having like a ton of cacao beans and doing the like 20 steps it takes to make chocolate from scratch. So I'm really lucky that I have like a producer who I feel pretty comfortable ethically who's doing that, and then we get the chocolate and make stuff with it. But so the chocolate that we use comes from Peru and Ecuador, and it's all organic and fair trade. Even though like I have huge problems with the fair trade process, I think that it has a lot of like loopholes, and kind of the same with organic, like nothing's perfect. And I think the more the government gets involved, the less transparency there is, and the more opportunity for problems, and, standard anarchist line. But, I think that at the same time, there have to be some kind of safeguards and labels. And I'm happy that there is the fair trade, logo, which kind of shows something. But there's a really good book about this called Bitter Chocolate. And it's all about the fair trade process and how it began, and how a lot of things that are fair trade. Basically, all I'm trying to say is you still kind of have to do your homework because it's not, it's not perfect. That said, things that aren't fair trade are pretty much definitely produced through, child slavery in Africa. It's funny, like someone who works at the shop was saying that they were saying to their friend, like they were eating some kind of chocolate, and they were just like, well, just so you know, like that was definitely like child slaves picked that chocolate. And their friend was like, you don't know that. That's not true. But the truth is that like Hershey's and Cadbury, they themselves are the ones who are saying that. Like they issued, I think Cadbury issued a report recently saying like, I can't remember all the details, but it was like by 2020, we hope to reduce our like slave chocolate by 5%, or, you know, like some insane, and like they actually use the words like child slavery in the press release, you know? So it's like, this is not a disputed thing. So anyway, yeah, so basically, that's, I don't know if that was good information, but that's kind of about our chocolate.
You know, there's, for people that really want to know where their chocolate's coming from, like you're buying like the bars and stuff, the Food Empowerment Project has an amazing app that you can pull up and just be like, oh yeah, this is definitely from the west coast of, you know, the Ivory Coast of Africa. Is definitely done by slavery. Don't fucking buy it.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, I think that it's kind of funny in like the high-end chocolate world. Like, you know, now I think a lot of ethical, you know, people trying to eat more ethically just kind of know like, oh yeah, the Ivory Coast, I won't eat that. But the funny thing is, like, I know some chocolate makers who are trying really hard to create like co-ops there and like programs that could actually help the people living there make chocolate, you know, or produce chocolate. But I think that, you know, because we want to, I don't know, understand things, that it's just become this thing where I know if we sold chocolate here and we said like, oh, this is from the Ivory Coast, half of our customers would be like, oh my God, I'm not buying it. You know, even if we were like, it's fair, it's certified fair trade and it's from this cooperative where the people who grow it actually make the chocolate, you know. So it's kind of funny with these labels where everything is always so complicated. And yeah, I wouldn't buy chocolate from the Ivory Coast either, you know, without knowing like so much about it. But it's kind of hard the more you get into a movement or like a specialty, kind of like bread, the more you realize that there's like so much to learn, and it's a complex universe. So yeah. So
speaking of child slavery, how do you make the perfect cup of hot cocoa?
Oh, let's see. So, well, there's two things. In our shop, we do like a drinking chocolate, which is just like fancy pants, kind of European style, really, really thick hot chocolate. So we make that from ganache, which is basically just like cream, butter, and chocolate. And for us, we use coconut oil and then coconut milk, because the truth is, with chocolate, it's such a strong flavor that pretty much everything that we make, we use coconut oil and coconut milk as like our kind of milk and cream. And it doesn't taste coconutty because the chocolate kind of, you know, has its own flavor that kind of covers it. Yeah, so we use ganache, which is like, it's like the center of a truffle, like the kind of smooth, creamy kind of thing. And then we use like a huge, it's kind of insane how rich our drinking chocolates are. I drink one a year of them on my birthday, but I don't, like, people love them. And sometimes I'm just like, wow. But we've done all these experiments with like a little bit less ganache, and it just makes it like a little bit less rich. But we use 50 grams, which is basically like, I think it's about a quarter of a cup of ganache in one cup. And then we use like 140 grams of milk, which I think is, I don't know what that would be, maybe like a cup or a cup and a quarter of almond milk. So we like heat that up, add the ganache, whisk it, and it's insanely rich. And then we top that with like a whipped cream that we make in the Easy Whip, you know, the little, what is that called? Like a, oh my gosh, whipper thing, cream whipper. I think this is a thing that vegans need to be using a lot more too. It takes a little nitrous charges, and you basically put your like cream mixture, which ours is like cornstarch, coconut milk, and sugar. It's like really simple recipe. And then you put that in the Easy Whip and then add 2 little chargers, and it basically comes out as like perfect whipped cream.
Yeah, I've heard about that.
Oh man, it is the best. Yeah, we use it for like all kinds of things. And then we put little sweet and Sarah marshmallows on top, and cinnamon. And yeah, it's pretty good, I gotta say.
Have you ever tried making macaroons?
Like French macarons, kind of.
Yeah, with like the
Yeah, actually, okay, here's the thing. I have not, thank God. But Marisa, she is like my best friend, and she runs a bakery out of our space, Sweet Marisa's, if you want to look it up online. And she spent, I am not even kidding you, 2 years perfecting her macaron recipe. So that's like her whole business. It's like a full-time job for her is making vegan macarons, and they are ridiculous. So we sell like, I don't know, millions of them at the shop, and she does mail order with them and everything. And I have been witness to her, like, because we're here all the time, and just seeing her make them, it is like she has cracked the code of like, she's taught me some things that we make like a kind of like a Snickers type bar, or the turtle bar, and it has like a nougat top layer, and she's kind of taught me how to make that based on the meringue of her macarons, and it's pretty wild.
It's
pretty crazy.
So difficult.
Yeah, I mean, for her, it's so much about like she can just like touch them and see if they're right, like the dough, and I feel like it's just about practice and kind of learning that. But yeah, it's a pretty wild world, and she does hers without any like GMOs or anything, and it's insane. Like, I don't believe in secret recipes or anything, but her recipe it's not a secret, but it's more like her technique kind of, because she's like perfected it for so long, and yeah, I'm really proud of her. She's ridiculous.
That is now on my bucket list of things I have to try.
Yeah, it's totally worth it. Yeah, she made these gingerbread ones that I have 2 of those in the freezer that I saved for myself for when the shop closed, because they're perfect.
Well, it's already been an hour. That's crazy.
Wow.
How can people get in contact with you, follow your work, and actually have the stuff you make?
Let's see. Well, Lagustas Luscious.com, which is the hardest and not easy to spell website of all time. So yeah, good luck with that. You can figure it out. Actually,
we'll put
I
it
think
in the show notes.
Yeah, there you go. Or probably if you search, I don't know, like vegan chocolates. I don't know if we like come up high in Google in that. I guess that's something I should like care about. But yeah, do a search. We're around. Or I'm on Instagram. It's just Lagusta, Lagusta. Easy.
Well, we end every show saying "fuck shit damn." Would you mind saying it for us this week?
Oh yeah, what? Fuck shit down?
Yeah.
Great.
Sweet.
Thank you so much.
Awesome. All right, thank you. Thanks, guys. That was really great.
Well, have a wonderful weekend.
Okay, you too.
This week, you heard
Robo Booty by Opio.
Right now, you're listening to
Spectrum of the Sky by Break of Reality.
iTunes. Just go like us and review us.
We need your love.
And if you don't want to do that, just download the episode 2 or 3 times.
We, like we said, we only have about 0.0001% of our listeners who have rated and reviewed us on iTunes. And we get it. You need a credit card. Kind of sucks. But you don't have to charge the credit card. You just need it on file so that they know you're a legit person.
Yep. So go there, rate us and review us. It seriously helps us out. What it does is it increases our search rating. So if someone goes into iTunes and types in vegan, looking for a vegan podcast, it displays it based on the rating and reviews that it currently has. So if you want us to get better search results, we have to have more ratings and reviews.
Also, if we're not friends on social media, totally check us out. We post a lot of stuff on there that we don't talk about on the show. And so like us and be our friends. Go to whichsidepodcast.com, click on the social tab.
Fuck shit damn.
Fuck shit damn.
We need a social media intern to join our team. If interested in becoming activist famous or a level 5 vegan, hit us up on social media. Which Side Podcast is hosted and produced by Jordan Halliday and Jeremy Parkin of the Which Side Media Collective, with web design by Jordan Halliday and sound design by Jeremy Parkin. Booking by Mari Halliday. Theme music by Commandantes. Go to whichsidecollective.org to check out the other shows in the collective. As always, fuck shit damn.